everybody. So today on Home Field Advantage, we are going to do things just a little different than we normally do. So this episode is not necessarily going to give you the inside scoop on all things Mid-Michigan like we love to do on Home Field Advantage. But this episode, we are going to be talking with Mid-Michigan native, Jamie Peer. Jamie is a 1994 graduate of Owosso High School and is a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel. Currently, her military family is stationed in Nebraska, and Jamie is now putting her leadership skills to even better use, in my humble opinion, and is the owner of Expansive Life Solutions. Expansive Life Solutions is way more than life coaching, but we'll discover just what she brings to the table with a few questions here in our discussion with Jamie. So,
all right.
Welcome to Home Field Advantage, Jamie.
Thanks, Jeff.
So, hey, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up becoming a life coach.
Okay, well, as you said, I recently retired from the military after about 23 years. I enlisted from Owosso, Michigan, almost hit a recruiter on my rollerblades as I was crossing through that YMCA parking lot there, and went over to see him the next day, answered a few questions, and decided that I thought the military might be a good fit for me. So I've been doing that. But throughout my career, I had lots of great leaders see my potential and invest in it. And then as I just made the transition from enlisted to officer and went through leadership training with the military, I realized that there was a lot of potential in the Army, and I wanted to give back to those soldiers in the way that had been given to me in the development of their potential. So as I was contemplating retiring and thinking about, the benefits of getting to be with my family more and having more time freedom in my marriage, because we had 6 years of geographical separations and things like that, so I was really looking forward to just kind of being a wife and a mom. But the one thing that I knew I was going to miss the most was having that opportunity to invest in people's potential and help them get on a great path for their life. And that's when I came across Life Coaching Institute that I did a little bit of research, and I saw, oh wow, I can still do that and have this life that I would love living with my family and being able to be with my kids more. And so I began that adventure by submitting my retirement paperwork and starting my own business. So that's how it happened.
So I'm going to derail from that conversation for just a quick second. You and I grew up our high school years together. We were friends in high school. So I'm curious to know, now that you've been gone away from Owosso for a while, and you do come back and visit, I'm curious to know what your favorite memories of your hometown are.
Oh, well, I just loved being a kid in Owosso, Michigan, and I did a lot of playing outside, played a lot of sports growing up. But I think when I think of being a kid in Owosso, probably one of my favorite memories is just being able to ride my bike everywhere. I would, ride to tennis practice or at Emerson, or I would ride to softball practice along the river, the Shiawassee River. And, on the way home from a game, I would either stop at the Cone Zone or Anthony's Dairy Delight, and it's not there anymore, which is a bummer. But I also remember there would be these big mulberry trees next to the river on that trail, and I would stop and pick some mulberries. And so just having kind of like this quintessential childhood, and a lot of it had to do with me riding my bike.
If you haven't noticed, I still ride my bike around this town. It's one of the greatest towns to ride a bike around, I tell you. That's awesome.
That was one of the things that the Army recruiter said. He's like, if you joined the Army, you'd have enough money for a car and you wouldn't have to rollerblade and ride your bike everywhere. And I was like, good point.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. That's awesome.
Sure.
I love to hear people's memories of Owosso and Shiawassee County.
Sure.
So back to the life coaching, do you have or have you had a life coach of your own?
Yes, I have. In fact, I currently have two. One is the owner of the institute that I trained under, Mary Morrissey with Brave Thinking Institute. That's a year-long coaching program. She sent me a whole bunch of books I get to read over the next year, and I'm kind of pouring into those either with the actual book or on Audible. But then once a week, we get together and I can ask questions. She can refine some of the ways that I've been thinking about things. And then I actually see, she's based in California, so we do a lot of that over Zoom. And then I have another coach that I'm working with in Omaha that's more on the personal side of things, just helping process stuff that I haven't had time to process, quite frankly, being active duty for the last 23 years. So that's been really good as well. Different goals with each coach, but really ultimately the investment I'm making is in my own development.
Absolutely. So, who do you think would benefit the most from life coaching?
It's a good question, Jeff. Basically, I think anybody who wakes up in the morning and isn't absolutely thrilled with all the results in their life, like if they can't wait to get to their job and interact with their coworkers and their boss, and they can't wait to, they've got more than enough money to pay all the bills and still do all the great things they want to do in their life, they probably don't need a life coach. But I know that hasn't been my experience. And for a while, I was dreading getting out of bed in the morning. I was not looking forward to my day. And it was because of the decision I made to retire so that I could live more of those aspects of my life. Now I do actually. I'm waking up about 5:30 or 6 because I'm excited about what I'm learning and what I can bring to my clients. And I do enjoy designing my day and just having those things on my calendar that I really want to do. So I do realize that a lot of people don't feel like they have a choice in the matter. They feel like they have to have the job that has the benefits to make a certain level of income. They're like, I don't have a choice. But I really love speaking with those people and just getting them to tweak a little bit of the way they think and challenge them on a few things. And then most of them realize that they have a lot more say in the quality and the content of their life.
Great. That's awesome. So, I know from my own experience that there are a lot of life coaches out there. I'm curious, what qualifies someone not to just be a life coach, but to be a good life coach?
Sure. So I'm a firm believer in the been there, done that. You want to have a life coach who's had some life experience, somebody who doesn't mean they necessarily have to have struggled in the same areas that you're struggling in, but that relatability, that they understand, that you really want something out of life, and then maybe a sickness or a divorce or an accident occurs and it kind of derails you, and they can not only understand but empathize with the current struggles that you may be facing. So, and we all have, Mary, my coach, says the content of our life is the curriculum of our evolution. And so those challenges and those things that have happened in the past, if we learn from the mistakes, or we learn, what we could have done differently in the past to change the current outcome, as long as we learn something, then we go forward wiser, and make better decisions moving forward. So I really think that having a coach that you resonate with, that can empathize with some of the things that you're going through, that maybe they've gone through something similar themselves, but then that they also have a curriculum and a structure of accountability and support. It's not just, off the cuff advice, but that there is a structure to the coaching program that they provide, and that there's takeaways that you will have when you leave. I think that's really what separates the people that call themselves a life coach and a actually, highly qualified, highly effective life coach.
That makes perfect sense to me. So, what would you be looking for in an ideal client? And I guess before you answer that question, Jamie, I should put the disclaimer on there that I am a recipient of your services and have been in your programs. So put that asterisk there before we start that.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me just talk about you then, Jeff. So what I liked about you as a client is that you already understood the concept of investing in yourself, and that sometimes we have to spend money um, getting new tools and new perspectives, and that, in investing in a sounding board that can help us in those moments where there is some self-doubt, where there is some fear or anxiety around decisions that we are trying to make. And you knew that right off the bat, that it was something that you could see the value in, and you believed in yourself and your dream enough with your business that you were looking for that support and accountability. So um, I know there's a lot of people out there that had some success, in another phase of their life, or maybe they have amazing results in one area of their life, but less than stellar results in another. In the military, especially, it's a very demanding profession, and many of us could be at work, 18, 20 hours a day if if our bosses didn't kick us out, or if our spouses weren't calling us asking us where we were. But that's what happens, is you become so focused on one area of your life, the rest of it kind of falls by the wayside. And we don't want our relationships to fail from neglect, and we don't want people to feel like we're taking them for granted. We don't want our health to suffer. Some people make a ton of money, but they have no time to enjoy it. And so I'm just looking for those people that do want to find more harmony and balance. They do want to, have high levels of success in all areas of their life. And, and for those people that had success in the past and kind of lost their way, I love reminding them of, that they did do that, and they can do even more great things moving forward. And so I like helping people that have kind of just gotten off track or derailed in their goals for their life.
One of the things that we discussed when we first started getting into your program was the fact that in order to be successful in business, you have to start with the person, and start there. And that's what really resonated with me, realizing that I have all these lofty goals for my business and what I wanted to achieve. But if I don't start here first and build a foundation and make sure that foundation is steady, all that other stuff is going to be much harder to achieve, if not, near impossible. So that's kind of what sold me on the program. And as a graduate of your program, I'm confident in saying that that's exactly what we did. That's what we achieved, is set the foundation, got some clarity and some vision, or some focus, so that we could achieve that vision in the end. I'll tell you plenty of stories about how your program has helped me where I'm at right now, and I definitely can still see where I'm going, even to the next step. So
that's awesome to hear. It was a lot of fun, and like I said, I love seeing the products of the goals that you have set as these videos have emerged, and I get a kick out of them every time I see them, and I'm just really proud of you, Jeff.
And likewise, Jamie, very, very proud of you. It's really fun to be able to bring you on to our first episode of Home Field Advantage live, I guess, and do a face-to-face interview over Zoom. Is there anything you just would like to wrap up this interview with and make sure people know about your business, or about what a life coach can do for them?
Sure. So even though I am currently in Nebraska, I coach people from all over the country. I do one-on-one coaching, which is definitely more intensive for somebody who's got some very clear goals for their life. And then there's people who benefit from group coaching. And that's what you did, Jeff. You did group coaching with a few other people. And I remember you remarking about how it was always nice to kind of hear what other people were doing with the curriculum, and what types of goals they were setting. And it would give you ideas and reassurances that you were on the right track. And so, I love both. I really do. I'm probably more of a one-on-one type of person naturally in my personal life. but I've seen so many great things happen from that group coaching and the relationships that form in that can sustain that momentum even after the coaching time ends. But I can coach people all over the country. I love doing it. I think I'm good at it. I mean,
You are.
but I think the most important thing is that I love seeing the results, and I see results consistently with all my clients, different levels based on, how much time and effort they can put towards it, but everybody definitely makes progress. So, yeah.
So if somebody wanted more information or they wanted to reach out and contact you and ask some questions, how would they do that?
Absolutely. So I have a Facebook page, Expansive Life Solutions. That's SOUL Solutions on Facebook. They can also reach out to me via email at Jamie C. Peer, JAMIEC Peer, PEER 497 at gmail.com. And I would be happy to set up what I call a strategy session. It's just 90 minutes where we talk about, current results in the 4 areas of love and relationships, time and money freedom, health and well-being, and vocation and career. So we'll go over all 4 of those areas together, talk about how things are right now. They say it is what it is, right? So what is it? And then we will go and look at an ideal life. What would your ideal life look like in all 4 of those areas? And as we get crystal clear on what we would love, people tend to notice that there's a gap between where they are and where they would love to be. And we talk about ways that we could, I can help facilitate closing that gap quicker. So that's what I do.
Very good. So that's Jamie Peer, Expansive Life Solutions. And I'm Jeff McIntyre from Home Field Advantage right here in downtown Owosso, Michigan. If you like what you heard, please reach out to Jamie, obviously, if you have questions about her program. And subscribe to our channel by clicking subscribe. And follow us on Facebook also. We are at Jeff McIntyre, Realtor, is where our main content is pushed out. And be on the lookout, coming soon for those agents and business owners across the country who would like to implement video into their business. That's what we do on this side of things outside of real estate.